Hello and welcome back in this video series about the Claude Code Pro. In the previous video, I already clarified what is CLAUDE.md and how can you generate it, and I also talked about the CLAUDE.md guideline structure. So basically CLAUDE.md is used for the Claude code, and this is the project overview and guideline for your Claude code. And based on this instruction and architecture process, Claude Code can create better code, and also they can create better bug fixing processes. And if you would like to know more about the CLAUDE.md file and in general about the Claude Code, also about quickstart and the setup, please check my previous video lesson in this free course. I already linked the previous video here, so you can check this. And within this lesson, I would like to talk about the context, and we will also create our first extension with the Claude Code Pro. And I will also explain this to you, what is the good context, what is the bad context, and also I will show you some well-defined prompt with the context for the AI. So let's get started. So basically, context means, for example, please create an extension. But actually this is a not good context in this case, not good context, because this is not well defined. So in this time, the Claude Code cannot really create extension or not really knows what is the extension and what is the purpose for this extension. So basically, if you are creating context and adding prompt to the AI, this prompt should be well defined. So basically, if you are typing, for example, please create an Magento 2 extension, this is a little bit better because you are already explained which framework and which extension is needed from this framework. But this is also not really good because it's not really defined which extension or what is the purpose for this extension and so on. So basically, if you are typing your prompt, please be sure that your prompt and your context is well defined, that AI can also recognize and also can provide better code for you. And also the bug fixing process can be easily done if your prompt and your context is well defined. So basically in the CLAUDE.md file, I already extended this here with some developer notes from the previous lesson. So you can also extend this every time, also here from the CI process and also directly here in the CLAUDE.md file. So we extended this with this test with the developer notes. If you are creating page builder element, please adding also headline with the test headline text here. But in the meantime, I also extended this with the code location, file structure, and best practices. So for example, when creating examples, for example, Magento extension, always follow the structure under the app code 1dev. So this will be basically the basic and the basis for our upcoming extension with the Claude Code. So this is actually our reference. Regarding the file structure, you can keep the layout clean, minimal, and easy to follow. Avoid unnecessary complexity. Examples should be straightforward and practical. And also the best practices, please use Magento 2 best practices as the foundation when building new extension. Ensure code is consistent, modular, and aligns with Magento standards. So I also extended this here because if you are adding prompt, then Claude Code also checking the CLAUDE.md file and the instruction. Based on this instruction, they can also provide better extension and better bug fixing process, and in general better AI coding process as well. So then let's start with our first extension based on the Claude Code Pro version. So basically I would like to create a new extension. So let's add a first prompt with the well-detailed context, build a Magento 2 extension under. And here, if you are typing under, then you can also add places or directories or also reference to files directly into the prompt. And for this, if you are checking the common workflow section from the Claude Code, what I already explained this in the previous video lessons, that here you have the add symbol, and use this add symbol to quickly include files or directories without waiting for Claude to read them. So with the add symbol, you can add references to the files and directories directly into the prompt. So here, if you are typing add, then you will see we have here, for example, app code onedev, and here if you are in the time of typing, you will see the different folder structure and directory structure here under the app code onedev directory. So you can use this here as a reference. And basically after that, you can add named onedev Claude Code test. So this is my first prompt and first sentence. And here you will see this is already well defined, that we will create the Magento 2 extension under the app code onedev, and this will be the name Claude Code test. And here add also new front-end root accessible at Claude Code. Also add bold H1 headline with the welcome text, and please create a add button also to this page, and use Tailwind CSS for styling. So basically we created the first very basic prompt, but well defined what we need for this extension. So please create this onedev Claude Code test under the app code onedev using the add symbol as a reference to this directory, and please create a new front-end accessible page under the /Claude Code. Also please create a H1 headline with the welcome text, add simple button as a skeleton, and also use Tailwind CSS for styling. And then add enter. You will see that I will create a Magento 2 extension called onedev Claude Code test with the front-end root Claude Code. Let me try by planning this task. So first of all, let's create a module directory. Yes, we can process. Then create the registration PHP file. So basically this is the registration PHP, also with the copyright information. We can apply this. You can every time apply this or allow all edits process during this session automatically, also using with the Shift plus Tab, or you can add no and tell Claude what to do differently. So you can every time escape this process and type your prompt or define your prompt. But here we can also accept this, clicking to the apply or clicking to the yes in the terminal. Then the registration PHP is created, then the module XML. Here, for example, if this setup version is not needed, then you can tell this no and tell Claude what to do differently. Please create a module XML without this setup and continue. Because we are not using this here anymore, then it's removed, then we can apply this. And also the roots XML is created for this front-end page. So basically the front name, the root ID, I think is not allowed. So you can also ask this here. but I'm not quite sure. Then Claude Code Test ID is added. So I think it's better, and the front name is Claude Code. Then we can apply this. And also the index.php with the usage of the execute with the page factory, because we will create a new page. We can also apply this as well. And the next will be the layout XML file, where we are binding the template to the page. So this is created also with the title Claude Code Test. And then we have the Claude Code Test index page, Claude Code Test. So basically index.html, but you can also rename this every time, but the structure looks good. We can apply this as well. And then the template is created with the Tailwind style. This is the welcome text and also the button with the Tailwind style and with the default text, click me. Yes, we can also apply this as well. So then the OneDev Claude Code Test module has been created successfully. The extension includes the registration PHP, the module XML, the routes XML, the index PHP from the controller, and also the layout configuration and instruction, where we are binding the template into this page, and also the template itself. And also the features is the front-end route accessible at the /Claude Code, also with the H1 headline, button with Tailwind CSS styling, and responsive container with proper spacing. And also to enable this module, we can run simple Magento setup upgrade. So I will run this here manually. And then we can check this page on the front end. And basically regarding this routes XML, I'm not quite sure here, but let me check the route XML. So here basically, because previously AI is also provided like this, but I think it's not allowed, but I'm not quite sure. So if you are not sure if your provided code from the AI is good enough, then you can every time recheck this or re-ask this. But basically, if this will be not good, then you will see the exception on the front end, and you can ask or copy this exception directly into the Claude Code in the CI, and then Claude Code can provide better code for you. Or if you are already familiar with the Magento framework, you can directly adjust this in the creation process, what I already made. So the setup upgrade is already completed. Let's check this on the front end by typing /Claude Code. So as you can see, the page is created also with the title, and text, and the button. And later we will also extend this page with the usage of the Claude Code. But first of all, we created the skeleton with the usage of the AI. So here basically, once again, I would like to mention that if you are using the @ symbol, then you can also reference to the file. So let's say, please explain what is the correct route ID in general by Magento 2. So here you can also explain something regarding the route ID, because I was not quite sure if this Claude/code was correct or not. So for example, we can ask AI about this. So the general routes use only lowercase letters and underscores. No hype spaces or special characters, should be unique across all modules, and typically matches or relates to the module name. So basically using underscore is allowed, but using the previously created Claude test, I think is Claude Code, is not allowed. So I knew this ID syntax already, but here you have also different examples provided from Claude Code, and also regarding the references to the file, please extend the file app code 1dev Claude Code test index PHP with some notes and annotations. So with the @ symbol, I already referenced to this file and asked AI regarding the notes. So here in the functions, I would like to add some kind of notes and annotations to the functions. So then Claude Code can redirect this file because we already referenced to this file. And then they extended this with the notes. This controller handles the Claude Code frontend route, demonstrated basic Magento 2 controller implementation with modern PHP features. It looks good. Also the main controller already extended with the route mapping. Also with the params is already added as a page factory to create a page object. And how can you execute the controller action? So I can apply this. So this is the really well-defined nodes. For example, if you are new in this Magento system and framework, you can follow this instruction and guidelines directly from the controller PHP file. But here I wanted to present this to you. How can you reference to this file with the usage of the @ symbol? So this was the presentation about the context, where we are created the test page with the usage of the Claude Code Pro, and in the upcoming lesson I will have to continue with the styling of this page, adding new functionalities and styling to this page with the usage of the Claude Code Pro. And if you would like to know more about the Claude Code Pro, please subscribe into my new YouTube channel, where I will regularly update this video course, and see you in the next lesson. Happy coding!